When it comes to giving ourselves pleasure or giving our partners pleasure, fingering tends to be often overlooked, underrated, and underutilized. Now that could be for many of reasons, but for 85% of vulva owners, they need some sort of clitoral stimulation in order to reach climax. And the fingers are one of the best built-in tools we got. So if you've fallen out of practice or perhaps haven't really had the chance to develop fingering tips, then I'm here to help you out. But first, I'd like to take a second to talk about Promescent. When it comes to lasting longer in the bedroom, there are tons of different techniques that you can learn. However, learning does take time, especially when you're battling with performance. And sometimes we just need the help right now. Now, Promescent has designed the only clinically approved delayed spray on the market in the US, being used by 500,000 different men across the world. They have created a special patent formula working in as little as 5 minutes with fast absorption and little to no transfer to your partner, providing you with the stamina that's needed. But if you're looking for something a little bit more convenient, they also have you covered with the delayed wipe. And these babies are 75% more strong than any other delayed wipe on the market. Perfect for travel, really easy to throw in a bag, your wallet, or your pocket. And they're the exact same size as a condom. However, if you are looking for your max performance and the ability to customize the strength, the delayed spray is definitely gonna be your best bet. Now for my vulva owners out there, don't worry honey, I did not forget about you. We obviously want to maximize our pleasure. They have developed this warming arousal gel. With a pea-sized amount, you'll apply it to the whole outside of the vulva. The gel will have you experiencing an increase in blood flow, a warming and tingling sensation, maximizing your pleasure in just 5 minutes. And Promescent and I have a little bit of a gift for you, and it's 15% off your whole purchase. All you have to do is click the link down below and the code will automatically be applied at checkout. Now, they don't just carry these 3 products, they carry all of your sexual wellness needs. Free shipping over $10 throughout the US, not to mention that your order comes in 100% discreet packaging, keeping this our little secret. Promescent allows you to try the product for 60 days, money back guaranteed if you don't like it. Yeah, even if you did try the product. But my favorite thing about Promescent is they actually have real doctors backing up and supporting and recommending their products to their patients. So what do you have to lose? Try Promescent today, click that link down below, get your 15% off, and maximize your pleasure. All right, babies, now let's dive back into these fingering tips. So first things first, we need consent, we need communication, and we need hygiene. So before things get hot and heavy, make sure you wash your hands, you trim or file your nails. Make sure the nails are just smooth right across, so there's no jagged edges or hangnails that could possibly tear or scratch any of our sensitive parts. We don't need to be introducing any type of new bacteria that doesn't need to be there. So think about all the things that we touch along the day, stuff that gets trapped underneath our fingernails. Make sure you give them a good wash, a good file, and a good scrub. If you want to be a wizard with your digits, you're gonna have to brush up on your anatomy of the vulva. Now, I'm not gonna cover the whole anatomy here, other than the most common area that is going to be stimulated by our fingers, which is the clitoris. The clitoris is actually quite large. It consists of 2 different sets of lobes surrounding the vulva and the vaginal opening. So these lobes and the clitoral hood, along with the clitoral tip, when they're stimulated, they can actually increase insane amounts of pleasure. This first technique is called the Venus rising. And this one we like to use when we are warming up because we don't want to go straight for the clitoris. That can be quite shocking and really desensitize the whole area or be quite painful. So using long, slow strokes up and down the vulva on either side of the lips, on the inside and on the outside, this is exactly where the lobes of the clitoris sit underneath. So though you are not able to see it with your eye, the lobes are right there. So you can do either this peace sign motion going up and down, or you can actually take your finger and stroke long, soft strokes and play with that pressure. You can even do little tiny circles like you're massaging the area, but those long, slow strokes on either side can be really pleasurable. This technique will cause the lobes to become engorged and filled with blood as your partner becomes aroused. You should be able to feel the swelling begin underneath your fingertips. So because our vulva isn't self-lubricating, we're actually going to be using a lube because this is going to help glide, reduce chafe, chafing and reduce that friction. It's also going to increase the sensations of pleasure. As your partner becomes even more aroused, you're gonna work closer and closer to that clitoral hood. The clitoral hood will eventually start to slowly retract, exposing the clitoral tip. Work in small circles around the edges of the clitoral tip and feel it become enlarged. Now, the second technique that we're talking about is going to be called the power button. So if you have a partner that enjoys the tip of their clitoris being played with, this might be the move for you. For the power button, you're going to be gently circling around the clitoris, making a full circle and then swiping across it. The circling around the clitoris followed up by that gentle swipe over tease is a really great way to play with different levels of pressure or sensations. And it also keeps the pressure from becoming too intense too quickly. This third technique is called S.O.S, and this is one of the money moves. So for this technique, you're gonna start by doing 3 short motions across the clitoris, just like this, nice and gentle, followed up by 3 long strokes going in between the lips all the way down to the vaginal opening and then all the way back up to the clitoris. After you've done those 3 long strokes, you're gonna move back up to the clitoris and you're gonna repeat by going across again in those 3 short strokes. As you repeat this process, you're gonna be stimulating the clitoral tip, the clitoral lobes that are located underneath the lips, and then the opening of the vagina, and then back to the clitoris. Now, the reason why I love this technique is because you're not just stimulating the tip of the clitoris, but you're stimulating the whole body. And the bonus is that often it will actually help your partner produce more natural lubrication. And it also helps arouse the vagina, making sex more pleasurable. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that we haven't actually entered into the vagina with the first 3 techniques. That is specifically because you need to do a warm-up and make sure your partner is aroused before you do any sort of penetration. This 4th technique we like to call the chef's kiss. That is specifically because you are using these 3 fingers. So using your thumb, you're going to be gently stimulating the tip of the clitoris. And with the pointer finger and your index finger, you're actually gonna be inserting. So it's gonna look something like this. Now, you don't wanna just go right in. Work those 2 fingers gently around the outside of the vaginal opening and then slowly work them in. As you're working these 2 fingers in and out of the vagina, you're going to continue that stimulation on the clitoris with your thumb. This is a really great warm-up for any type of penetrative activity. So finishing up with our final technique, this one is called under the hood. So as the clitoris becomes aroused, it becomes engorged and that hood slowly starts to pull back, exposing the tip of the clitoris. Once this happens, the very, very, very sensitive tip is finally exposed. Now for this move, we're gonna reapply some extra lubrication because of how sensitive the area is. So once we add some lube to our fingertips, we're going to be introducing some stimulation to the clitoris with our middle finger. You're gonna take that fingertip and you're gonna gently rub it back and forth across the clitoris. Now, because this area is so sensitive, it might not be for everybody. So don't be afraid to switch it up and go back to something that felt good for yourself or for your partner. And express if it feels good. Express if it doesn't feel good. After all, communication is some of the ultimate lubrication. But once you're here, you can increase the pressure or increase the speed or decrease, whatever feels best to you or your partner. So like I said, if you're fingering somebody else, make sure you check in with your partner. Ask them what feels good and see what level of pressure or speed that they like and that they enjoy. All right, babies, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you were able to understand my techniques and my positions. It is really hard when I'm just trying to describe to you guys and I can't show you. I'm quite limited to what I can do on this platform. That is exactly why I'm going to be launching my Patreon coming up at the end of the month, so I can give you guys more of a visual demonstration on these positions and these techniques and how to actually properly perform them. But I do what I can to navigate through this really gray area. All right, babies, I will see you on Monday for another episode. Cheers.